All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well on this Saturday. We've got some Derick Hall stuff to get into here because yesterday we got the contract details. I decided to not make a video about this yesterday. Had enough going on yesterday, but I want to talk a little bit about the details concerning Derick Hall's new contract. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. And basically, we already knew the general details of this new contract. We already had a pretty good idea of how good a deal it was for the Seattle Seahawks. We had a pretty good understanding that this was well below the typical market value for a decent edge rusher. We learned that in the offseason with Boye Mafe, seeing the money that he got, seeing what a guy like a Nick Herbig got. It reminded you this was a very, very good deal. But now we want to dig a little bit deeper into the exact makeup of this contract. So Over the Cap has the latest details. So let's pull it apart a little bit and take a look at exactly what we're dealing with the Derick Hall extension. Remember, it was a 3-year, $42 million extension. Here's how it all comes out. That first year, 2026, so this year, the cap number has gone up from 2.9 to about 6.25. So going from 2.9 to 6.25 means you're spending a little bit more than 3.25 more than you initially had. The bonus money, the way that NFL contracts work, it dictates that the cap number goes up when you extend somebody off such a small cap hit. So we are spending a little bit more money this year, but it's only going to be about 3,350,000, I think, would be about right. And that's certainly well worth it, especially when you consider the fact that this Seahawks team has plenty of cap space and not necessarily a lot of stuff they're going to need to spend it on. More on that before we finish this video. But cap hit number is call it 6.25 for 2026. And then we accelerate up to about 7.5 in 2027. So that's next year. So not a big incline at all. Very, very similar numbers. 2028, it accelerates significantly, but still not to some absurd amount, right? Like it goes up to 13.75 now in 2028. That's not even 4% of where the salary cap is likely to be for 2028. So 2028, you're still talking about a pretty fair price for an edge rusher that can play. And I don't know if Derick Hall is going to make massive improvements over the next couple of years. I don't know if he's capped out at what he is, but even if he is, this is not an absurd price for what he is. So even if he is just a guy who can come in off the bench and give you a few sacks a season and hold up against the run, this is not going to be some cost prohibitive thing at all. And then the final year, 2029, kicks up to about 17.25, which still really not that bad. So there's no point in this deal where the money gets ridiculous. And remember, by the time you get to 2029, you're going to have options. You can release him. You can see that there's very little dead money involved on Derick Hall stuff. Like you get to 2028, 2 years from now, Derick Hall is going to have less than half of his cap space for 2028 be guaranteed to him. So if you're not happy with what you have in 2028, you let him go. You give him 6.5, and you're saving 7.25. 2029, it's pretty much nothing. 3.25 and dead, and then you save 14. So realistically, you're doing really, really, really good. And you have ultimate flexibility to get to 2029 and say, okay, we're going to extend you or we're going to let you go. And either way, you're probably going to be pretty happy with the way things play out. The guarantees on this deal are pretty low. So overall, looking really good. If you like sports, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using the Prize Picks app, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players and build lineups with a few taps. whatever sport you're into. And obviously, we are now firmly into the NFL offseason. So we're all about baseball. We got some basketball. We got some hockey, whatever it is you like. Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. Definitely make sure to use the promo code HMA. Prize Picks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. If you use that promo code, that is HMA. I've had a great time on Prize Picks so far, so definitely get on over to it, check it out, and make sure to get your lineups. And don't forget about Team Picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So download the app now, use HMA, and get on over to Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. So it's a good deal. It doesn't get out of hand at any point. It's something that can easily be gotten out of in 2 years, and it's almost completely painless to get out of in 3. So can't ask for too much better than that. Again, if you compare it to similar deals that similar players are going to get now and even in the recent past, we've done a great job. So with this extension, obviously you now have some long-term security at the position. But what about right now with the team? So Curtis Allen was on this yesterday, shortly after the extension details came out. After this extension, which did eat up a little bit of 2026 cap space, like I said, the Seahawks now have, according to him, and I believe he's correct, about $25.5 million in cap space. So that is currently what the Seahawks are working with. Keep in mind, you're probably talking about eating up about maybe 9 to 10 million with the Devin Witherspoon extension. So we extend Witherspoon. Now the number is 16. And then maybe you get down to like 3 million for practice squad. And then you take another 3 million for like injury buffer during the season. That's still $10 million in cap space left that you can go get a free agent. You can go make a trade. You can make a pretty big trade, by the way. You could probably take on Thibodeau and most of his salary with that money, and then just tell the Giants to eat whatever's left. There's still some flexibility here. And keep in mind, there are things you can do to free up cap space. Like the Leonard Williams extension, which is probably going to happen anyway, is going to free up some cap space. I don't know exactly how much, but the Leonard Williams extension will free up cap. You can still restructure guys like Cooper Kupp and DeMarcus Lawrence and Jaron Reed. I don't think we want to do those things, and I don't believe that we will, but it is an option. If you have the opportunity to acquire a really, really good player, like an expensive player at some point, and you feel like it's worth it for you to do, that is something that is now on the table for you because you have the ability to open up some pretty serious cap. So that's the Derick Hall extension. I know it's not anything radically different than what we initially thought, but we're looking at just about $11 million a year for the next 4 years. Totally worth it. According to OTC, by the way, he's not even in the top 30 for edges. So they have him at 33rd out of 270 edge players. Sometimes they get edge designations a little bit wrong, but it's great, man. It's great. This is a great deal and definitely something, even if you don't like Derick Hall that much, and I know some people don't, and I understand why. He's not been a great player yet in his career. He's worth this. He's definitely worth this. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming soon. Probably nothing more later today. I don't think anything's going to happen today, but maybe. All right, go Hawks.